Hi everybody. In this video I'm going to talk about some little quads I just recently put together because like a lot of you I've got time on my hands being stuck inside, and so I was just looking through my parts bin seeing if there was anything interesting I can build, and I came up with three different sort of classes of quad, let's say, and I thought I would try them all out and see which ones performed well with different combinations of motors in that, and show a little bit of each one flying and then talk about them. So that's what this is going to be. Oh, and also building these three quads gave me a chance to try out this new soldering iron I just got. This is the Sequre SQ-001, I think it's called. It's like a basically like a $43 version of a TS100, which I always wanted but never wanted to spend $100 on it. And it has a little XT60 connector. So I plug it into the my battery charger power supply, and you just press it and it starts to heat up, and it heats up quite quickly, and you can see the temperature on screen, which is pretty nice. And it's easy to adjust as well. I think it goes up to 400 degrees, but I usually run it about 300 to 320. And it handles, in this size tip, it's pretty small tip. I used it for all these, like, say, motor connections on this, which handled no problem. And also it's big enough for XT30 connectors, but this tip, which is the one that came with the Pyro Drone version, might be a little bit small for XT60s and bigger ones, so you can get a larger, you can get different size tips for it, but for micros I think the one that it comes with is just about perfect. So this worked out great. Happy to have gotten this. 43 bucks I think is a very good price for this. So anyway, on to the little quads that I made. So we'll start here with this one. This is mostly the electronics from the Eachine Novice-I, so it's the little flight controller, the VTX, and the Runcam Nano 2, and then these motors are 1102 13,500 kV. And I'm running it, my idea for this one was to run this with these little GemFan 2023 props and just run it on 2S instead of 1S and 65mm props, and it performed okay. A lot of voltage sag though. Anytime I give it full throttle, you get the critical battery warning, so I don't think it's the best balanced system. So I think this one probably would have been best if I had just left it on 65mm props, and on the 1S is probably the best setup for this frame and electronics, so I think I'll go back to that. So that was a failed experiment. And then next up I have this this is a N47 frame turned sideways, so to speak, so I could run the battery strap sideways. And these are the 1103 8000 kV barred motors and Beta FPV 12 amp toothpick board and a Happy Model VTX. And this is the Baby Rattel camera, nice camera here. And I thought I would try this with these fairly beefy props, 2540 props, tried on 2S with these 8000 kV, and it wasn't as good as I expected. I thought it would actually be a little bit floatier than it was, but it actually felt kind of sluggish and heavy in the air, so I think these motors are best on 3S and with the smaller blades, like 65mm bi blades. And 3S is a better fit for these motors in this size quad, so I think this was another kind of failed experiment. Flew about as well as the previous model, so I think I'll not keep this current configuration, and I'll probably go back to 3S and bi blades on this. And then finally, the one that I had the highest hopes for, and the one that actually did indeed perform the best, was this one here, and you can probably guess that based on the specs. So this is a 3-inch Diatone cube frame, the 339 I think it's called, and I'm running it here with 1404 3850 kV motors for 4S, and these HQ Prop 3x3 blades, and a little 16x16 Get Bar C-stack in the middle, and a Runcam Racer Nano and an XM Plus receiver. Just a nice look at the bottom of the frame. So the thing I like about this frame a lot is, first of all, it's very, very light and stiff, and also if you can see the profile of it, you can just imagine when this is going through the air, it has very little wind resistance because it has such a low profile. So very aerodynamic frame, I think, in that sense, and nice and strong. And I guess, you know, it could get hung up in trees and that kind of thing, but I tend to steer clear of those wherever I can. And so I would say this thing flew exactly as I had hoped that it would, which was it just felt super powerful and, you know, really light, and just went anywhere I wanted it to go, and really fast at that. And if I had more camera tilt, could have gotten it to go probably really quite fast. But it was, you know, really fun to fly, and I'm super happy with this. And in fact, I think I'll probably take the camera, the Baby Rattel, out of the previous one you saw here, the little N47, because I like this camera quite a bit, and put it in here and keep flying this one as a really fun little analog machine, because at the moment you still couldn't make a digital quad that was this light and powerful, because you think about the camera system on this, probably weighs about 6 or 7 grams, the camera and the VTX, versus 30 plus grams for the Vista, so 30 grams is a lot. That's like half the weight of this. Oh, in fact, let's weigh this. I forgot to weigh the last one, but it didn't fly well, so who cares. This one weighs 79 grams, so I think that's pretty good for a 3-inch 4S, 79 grams, and then with the, this is the battery I was flying today, I think it comes in at about 130 grams. Yeah, with the battery it's 133.8 grams, so that's the result of this experiment. I guess pretty predictable really that the most Power was the absolute most fun to fly, but well, there it is. So this flew for about 4 minutes on this 524S, and that's the flight you're going to see now. And so anyway, thanks for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one.